Shalom and greetings from Jerusalem, Jane. Today the rain is pouring down throughout most part of Israel. It describes very well how we are all feeling. 6 o'clock this morning it was announced that 21 soldiers were killed inside the Gaza Strip. Here they are. 21 sons of Israel, all killed inside the Gaza Strip yesterday. This is the biggest fatality in one day since the war started October 7, when Hamas, ISIS, Nazis, terrorists breached into Israel and committed the worst massacre since the Second World War. Look at their faces. They all have a name. They all have a family waiting for them at home. They were all volunteering. They were in the reserve here in Israel. And yesterday they were killed inside Gaza. Absolutely, absolutely heartbreaking. I'm gonna let this stand here. What happened yesterday was that this battalion was sent in to houses that was close to the fence going into Israel. Only 600 meters from the fence into Israel, there were houses that needed to be demolished so that a terrorist was not able to hide in these houses when the people who is living in the Jewish kibbutzes will be allowed later this year to return home. So these soldiers were sent in to blow up these houses, to remove these houses. While this is happening, these evil Nazi ISIS terrorists fired an RPG towards a tank that was located next to the buildings where they were operating, and 2 soldiers in that tank were killed. The rest of these soldiers was in these houses, and this set of explosive devices, and those 2 high-rise buildings collapsed right down on all of these brave soldiers. 21 in one day. Right now my TV is on and they are actually broadcasting live from one of the funerals of these young men. They all have families. Several of them are married with children. They are now going to grow up without a father. Many wives is going to bury their loved one, their husband today. Children are going to bury their brothers, parents, their son, grandparents, their grandson. It is absolutely heartbreaking. And like I said, the rain is pouring down, and it is very well describing how we are all feeling. The day before, 3 soldiers were killed, also inside the Gaza Strip. The latest number I heard was that 208 Israeli soldiers has been killed inside the Gaza Strip since the beginning of the war, October 7. And now I'm looking over here and you see the families who are saying goodbye to their loved one, 1 out of 21. So it's a devastating day here in Israel. It's a heartbreaking day. This nation, every time we feel like we can't take any more sorrow, we can't take any more grief, we can't take any more trauma, more brave soldiers are killed inside the Gaza Strip. All of this is taking place while foreign ministers is meeting in Europe, pressuring Israel to have a 2-state solution. You have to understand you need a 2-state solution in order to make peace. We are going to force you to a 2-state solution. That's also what the Americans is pressuring for. And here we are burying 21 sons of Israel today out of pure hatred towards the Jewish people, which we saw when Israel was attacked on October 7. Did you know that nearly 80% of the Arabs living in Judea and Samaria supported the attack, the atrocities committed towards the Jewish people on October 7? And yet Israel, while they continue to bury their beloveds, are being pushed to give up land that God gave to them in an eternal covenant, never to be uprooted again, never to be displaced again, giving up land to people who wants to murder them. Israel doesn't have a peace partner. It doesn't matter if you are Abu Mazen, if you are Hamas, if you are Islamic Jihad. They have the same diabolical hate towards the Jewish people. And that's why they are saying from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free. Which means kill the Jews, get rid of the Jews, and turn it into an Arab state. And Israel has no choice but to defend herself against all of these evil people. And yet, funeral upon funeral upon funeral. The first funeral I attended for a terror victim on the Mount Herzl cemetery was from a young female soldier who had brutally been murdered in a terror attack. And I was standing at that gravesite and I was just listening to the cry of her mother. And I remember I took my camera, it was like an old regular camera at that time, and I just recorded the wall because out of respect for them, I didn't want to film them. I just wanted the world to hear the cry of yet another Jewish mother who has to bury her beloved child, murdered for no other reason than being Jewish, like what I'm looking at right now, probably a mother who's saying goodbye to her son. So I want to send my deepest condolences to the families of all of these 21 soldiers who was killed inside Gaza yesterday. 208 since October 7, but hundreds of soldiers and police officers were killed on October 7 when 3,000 terrorists breached into Israel. Israel, according to reports, has offered a new ceasefire. The details are still coming out a little bit, about 2 months ceasefire, but then all Israeli hostages, dead and alive, is going to be released. And then Israel has to release a lot of terror suspects, including some of the terrorists who committed the atrocities, who is right now sitting in jail here in Israel. So we don't have all the details about that. But it's a devastating day. It's a devastating day. May their memories forever be a blessing. May God comfort their families. May He lift them up in this time of deep, deep sorrow. I went across the street to the supermarket. I need to do some food shopping. And while I'm in the shop, it started raining. And as I'm going home, my wallet dropped out of my bag. Coming home, I realized I have lost my wallet. So I quickly go back to the shop, and I have shopped there for, this entire year. I've been living in this apartment. So the young guys in there, they know me very well. And I said, did I leave my wallet here? Did I forget? And they said, no, it's not here. And then one of them said, I actually saw a woman pick up a wallet on the street. So we walked to a couple of more stores. I left my name and number, and I said, if someone come and ask, I lost my wallet. It has my money. It has my credit card. And then all of a sudden, someone writes to me on my messenger on Facebook in Hebrew, did you lose your wallet? So it turned out that a young, beautiful woman found it on the streets. She contacted her father. He found me on Facebook. So I called this young lady, and she says, I'm actually on my way to the police. This is your wallet. And I said, this is my wallet. So we just met out here in the rain. So thank you, Naama, for being my angel today, for bringing home my wallet today in safety. God bless Israel.